Hi, hello, vanakkam, and welcome back to yet another episode on your favorite Little's Law YouTube channel. So today in this video, we are going to see about how to create a dev container, and we are going to use a Python code. So I'm going to create a dev container using the Python, and we are going to see how to create a consistent, reproducible, and an isolated development environment. So we can run our Python project the same way, regardless of where it's executed, say a local machine or your teammate's machine or a server. And this way, when you create using a container, it also helps us to avoid any dependency conflicts and making development smoother and more reliable, because we all know once we create a container, it is immutable, which is it will nobody can change it, right? And we all know the key benefits of containers. We have discussed that in our very first few videos. So let me just do a quick recap. So it is the containers are consistent across environments, and they provide isolated environment, and they are lightweight and efficient, and it's easy for you to reproduce it. And the scalability is always the main advantage of using the containers. And then when it comes to portability, once the application is containerized, we can run on any platform that supports containers. It can be Linux, Windows, macOS, or any cloud provider. And we can also streamline the development and the deployment. So these are the reasons why we use container, and mainly through Kubernetes. So in this video, I'm going to show you, like I told you in the very beginning, so I'm going to show you how to create a Python container using the dev container. And for this, the prerequisites is you must have your Visual Studio, and then the next part is you must have your dev containers extension. So make sure you're installing the latest version of dev containers, the version 0.384.0. So I'm going to show you how to use the dev containers effectively for creating a containerized application. And before we move on to this video, this is me, Vasan Shanmugam. I welcome you all to a Little Slaw YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed yet, and please do like my channel if you like this video, and share the video with your friends. And also don't forget to join my channel for more interesting content like this. So first step, um, I have my Visual Studio, and okay, the first step of it is close window. Sorry, let me open the Visual Studio Code. And yeah, the next thing is like you must have your Docker running, because without opening your Docker, you won't be able to use this dev container. So once it is opened, I'm clicking on the left side, the open a remote window. And here, once you get this window, click on new dev container. So once I click on the new dev container, it will ask what is the container configuration template. So we're going to define a configuration template. It's mainly a container configuration template or a custom template ID. So this is something like you are using a template, and on top of that you're going to build whatever you want. So you have lots and lots of options like .NET, you have Alpine, you have Anaconda, Azure Functions, through .NET, through Java, through Node.js, but I'm going to use the basic Python. So this is the one which I'm going to use for this example, and yeah, going forward we'll try with various other examples, but for now I'm going to use the basic Python. And trust, yes, and basic Python. So I'm going to create a container. So let me save it as little's law. So create container little's law. So this will create the dev container for us. So that's the very first step. And once it's created, you can see we will get two files, a Docker file and a JSON file. So yeah, let's wait for the JSON file to get open, and then I'll explain you what is a dev container .json. So yeah, inside the .dev container, you can see I've got a dev container .json and then a Docker file. So the moment you create this, right? If you go to your Docker, and in the images, you can see, right, the VSC little's law. So the container I have created. So the image is created here and it's in use. And if I go to the container, you can see that the nice McLaren, the little's law image, right, that container that we created now is running. So the very basic step, the very first step of creating the container is successfully done. So now the second step, and before that, let me explain you what does the dev container.json contain. So this is the main configuration file for the development container, and this tells the VS Code, the Visual Studio Code, on how to set up the container and what settings to apply inside it. And some of the key aspects are the container base or the Docker file reference. So here we can either point to a Docker image, so the container base, yep, and or it refer to a custom Docker file for building the container, and then we have the extensions and settings. So extensions here, where we can specify which VS Code extension should be installed. So we can install whatever extensions we need to install inside the container, and also we can apply specific editor settings. So this is going to be a very basic ones, but I'll tell you, I'll take you through each and every step. And then we have the mount points and volumes, where we can allow mapping for mapping of local folders into the container to process data or share code between the host and container. And then we can also add the forwarded ports, where we can define which ports from the container should be exposed on the host machine for testing the application. And also we will have to add the post create or post start commands. And then we have the Docker file here. So we have two files. One is the dev container JSON, and then the other one is the Docker file. So this Docker file here, you can see it has from library. So which library it has taken to define it. And then this Docker file is basically used to define the environment inside the container, and this describes the steps to build the Docker image. That's the main thing, which includes the base image. So here you can see the base image that I'm going to use, and which tools and dependencies to install, and any other system configurations needed. So this file provides flexibility if you need a custom setup or specific system packages. So that's how this Docker file works. So overall, the dev container tells the environment how to start, configure, and interact with the development container, and the Docker file here provides the instructions to build the Docker image that powers the development container. So far what did we do is we have just a few steps. Like I have created, I click this button here, and then I have opened a new container, and out of when I create select basic Python, automatically this file has been downloaded and the image is created, and then we have got the container running, right? So these are the things which I have did just now. And yep, I'm not configuring anything in the lens. So let's go back to Docker. So now I'm going to create a file inside the container, and for that, let me go to terminal, new terminal, and I make sure that I am inside the VS Code inside the container, and let me type touch app.py. So this will create a file for me, right? So if you can see here, I have got the app.py, and I'll use this code. So I'm creating a function where I will return the any number that comes in. I'm going to print the square of that particular value, and let me save it. Let me run this file. So Python app.py. So yeah, the square of 5 is 25, and if I change it to 6 and if I run it, so this is a kind of a function. So yeah, if you see here, the square of 6 is 36. So by doing this, I can test. I mean, like I just created a app file. That's it. So that's the only thing which I did so far. And now I'm going to install the dependency file. So if our project for Python project requires any additional Python libraries such as NumPy, just basically for the number related Python programs, for mainly for numerical operations, we can install them inside the container. And the command to install it is pip install numpy. So this will install the numerical operations packages inside the container, and that's the reason you can see the space of the images grows higher and higher, because we are installing things inside the container and the cluster. And now I have installed it. So let's do a small modification to the function now, and that is I'm going to import the numpy as np. Yep, and then I'm defining the square of num, and then return. I'm going to make a change, and I'm going to call the function np dot square of num. So I just call this function, and then if name equals, yep, that's same, number is same, result printf, so everything is same. So now let me run this file again, python app.py, so to make sure that everything works fine. Yep, now the code, the app.py file that we created is working fine. So now we want to save the dependency. So if you want to save the installed dependencies, like whatever um the packages are installed in this program. So for that, we'll have to create a requirements.txt file, and in that file, we will write all the dependencies. And for that, I'm going to use this command, which is um, freeze requirements.txt. So this will create the requirements.txt along with the packages, like whatever the installed packages are inside this program. So they will get automatically saved in this requirements.txt. And then let me install this file. So now anyone who uses this dev container can install the dependencies. So I'm going to install dependency, which is pip install -r requirements.txt. So this will install. So now if you see, we have got a new release of pip is available. In case if I want to install it, I can do it pip install upgrade pip. So this will install the latest pip inside my file. Yep. So now I have not got any deprecation. So it shows that it's defaulting to user installation because normal site package is not writable, and the requirement is already satisfied. So now I got all the things fixed. So now let's move to the next step. So far we developed a container, and then we created a file, and now we'll have to test this file. And for that, I'm going to type touch test underscore app.py. So this will create a test app.py file. So now I'll just copy this file and I'll explain to you. So I'm importing the unit test from the app import square, and I'm going to use the class test app, where I'm going to do an assertion. So that's what I'm going to do. And why I'm doing this is because testing is very essential to ensure that our code behaves as expected. Because you can use Python's built-in unit test framework or any third-party libraries like PyTest. But for this example, I'm using the Python's inbuilt test, which is the unit test. And let's now run this test. So it's Python -m unit test test underscore app.py. So now if you see, I have run one test and it's okay. So which is the test has passed, and you should see the output like this. And now the next part is we are going to forward the port for the web apps, because if I mean any of our Python project, right, whatever we create, it's going to be internet forwarded now. So for that, if the Python project involves any web frameworks like Flask or Django, you might need to expose the container ports to access the running applications on your local machine. So for example, here in this example, I'm going to install Flask. So pip install, Flask. So this will install the Flask for me inside the container using the volume. And now I'm going to create a file. And for that, we all know the command. It's touch web underscore app.py. And now we have got the touch web app.py, and I have the file here. I'll just copy it, and I'll, in fact, at the end of this video, I'll upload all this code in GitHub so that you can take it from there. And yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm importing the Flask from the Flask package, and then I'm using the variable app, where I'm going to import the Flask name, the string, and then I'm going to use the app.root, where I'm going to print this message, hello from, let me change it to Littles Law YouTube channel and please subscribe to Little Star. I mean, this is the only thing which I'm telling again and again. So yeah, I'm just typing it same. So yeah, it's already there. And then I'm forwarding the ports to 5000. So I'm modifying it so that I'm exposing the container ports to access the running application on our local machine. So this is how I can expose the port. And now let me run this file and see. So I'm running Python web underscore app dot py. So yeah, now this has opened the create the file in the browser. So when I click open in browser, and here you can see hello from Little Slaw YouTube channel. Please subscribe to Little Slaw. So don't forget to subscribe to Little Slaw. Yeah. So now by this we are able to create a containerized application, and then we have exposed the port to the external world so that we are able to run the test using the browser. So now we have got in the local host 5000, we are able to see the Flask app is up and running. So yeah, that's all about the Docker. So you can create a dev container.json. You can create a Python file from the scratch, and here you can see all the Python cache file, and you can create all your code in this Python file. And then if you want to set up your packages, you can use NumPy. And for the test app.py, you can use this file to import the unit test, where you can do the unit testing. And then you have this web app.py, where you can use the Flask to send this code to the external world, where if you want to integrate or to connect with the internet. So you can use this Flask. It's kind of a web application builder. You can use it, and then by exposing the port, you can very well expose the code to the port. And now the next part is, let me save this first. And yep. So the next part is I'm going to export this to Git, and from there you can fetch it up, and then you can use it for your trial and error. Like, you can try all this code. So now I have initiated the Git using git init, and let me add the file. So for that, I'll go to this command here. So git add space dot. So all the files will be staged. So they were previously in the local one, and now they are staged to the work directory. And then git commit minus m initial commit for Python dev container. So now this has this has committed the changes. So the next thing is, we are going to send this file, and for that, git remote add origin. Let me open the GitHub here, and then we'll get the repo URL. Go to Kubernetes training, and then get this file, so the remote URL. Let's come back to the Visual Studio Code, origin, paste the URL, click enter. So now we have set up the origin, the remote origin to this particular Kubernetes training, and then git push minus u origin main. Yep. So now it's failed to push some references. So let me see what I can do, and then we'll do it. So in fact, there's one more option where you can publish this branch for now, and let's see what happens. Yep, it has happened. I mean, like, the branch is created. So if we go to the uh, yeah, so now we can see we have got the master branch, right? So that is, and we can also see the code, whatever the code that we have. Yep. So you can see we've got the Docker file, the dev container.json, and then I have got the app.py, test app.py, and then web app.py. So I've got all these files. So now the file is safe with me. And now let me create a pull request. Okay, I can do that here. I'll go to this one, and then let me create a pull request. So let me go to the code. Let me go to the pull requests. Compare and pull requests. So in the main from master, yes, looks fine. New pull request, yes. Let me check from master. Or else there's one more thing which I can do, which is I go back to the Visual Studio Code and then let me do git clone the URL. So this will get all the files to my location. And now if I do git push origin master and then git, okay, let me now go back to GitHub. Let me go back to the code, do compare and pull request, master. So since it is showing there is not anything to compare and main master entirely from different configs, histories. So let me go back to Visual Studio Code and then let me check out to main. So now I'm on the main branch. Then I'm going to merge the master allow unrelated histories. So waiting for editor to close the file. Error cannot run the editor. No such file or directory. Unable to start editor and not committing merge. Use git commit to complete the merge. So it can be this command will I what I thought is like this will merge this command will start the merge process if there are no any conflict changes, but git will merge two branches, but I could not see that. So what I'll do is let me do quick check on it. Let me just click on sync changes. So this will push and pull the changes so that we'll have something to send it to the main branch. Let's wait until this gets completed. Yep, this is completed, and let's now go back to the GitHub. Let me click on compare and pull request, then the master. Yep, I have the master and then I have the main. So yeah, this has actually merged the changes. So when I run uh, the command, where is it? Partial. Sorry. Yeah. So when I run git push origin main, so that has actually pushed all my changes to the main branch. So because of that, I could see all the changes in the main branch now. So if you really want to practice all these steps, you can very well download the dev container folder, and then you have the PyCache. So you can try again, just retry all these steps, and that will help you to understand how the container works, or how the Docker works, at how to create a container, how to export it to different machines. So you can learn all these when you keep on practicing it. So yeah, with that I come to an end, and I definitely believe this video would be very useful to you. So until I meet you in my next video, it's bye bye from Vasan Shanmugam and your favorite Little Star YouTube channel. Take care and bye bye.